Hello viewers, you're welcome to our YouTube channel. On this channel, we review and preview football matches all across Europe and Africa. And today we'll be looking at weekend matches played all across Europe. Over the weekend, we had a lot of exciting matches from the FA Cup, English Premiership, Italian Serie A, the Spanish League, and the Bundesliga. Barcelona, over the week, they won the Spanish League and they were crowned the Spanish League champions. Then in the English League, the tussle for the spots for the Champions League is still on between Arsenal, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Newcastle, and Manchester City. Then let's not forget Nottingham. Then we'll have the FA Cup over the weekend, and the FA Cup match was played between Manchester City and Crystal Palace. The match went against all predictions by bookmakers. We'll start from there. So, Kenny, what do you think about the FA Cup match between Manchester City and Crystal Palace over the weekend?
Well, Crystal Palace on Saturday. Congratulations to all Crystal Palace fans worldwide. That was the first trophy in the history of Crystal Palace, the first major trophy they are going to celebrate. And kudos to them. Oliver Glasner came in and he has transformed the team. And we can see with the performance of, even with the loss of Michael Olise during the last summer, but we saw how the new coach was able to galvanize the boys, and who was unable to get a transfer out of the club last summer. He made the difference against Manchester City, who have had a very difficult season all throughout the season. Pep Guardiola, I'm sure he is yet to believe what he's seeing. Despite spending over 200 million in the winter transfer window, he's in the season without a trophy. So kudos to Crystal Palace and
ending the season trophyless. Congratulations to Crystal Palace. In that game, we saw the goalkeeper Henderson made it a lot of crucial saves against Manchester City.
Yeah, goalkeeper Henderson, he made a lot of saves to ensure that Man City had to even lose a penalty. A penalty was given to them to even see how they could come back to the game, but they missed. Mamouche missed the opportunity. So in the end,
yes, Mamouche missed that. Do you think it was wrong for Haaland to hand over the penalty to Mamouche? Because a lot of people are saying that Haaland should have taken the responsibility.
Haaland, right? We really don't know what happened in the background. A lot of conversations go into all these decisions on the field. So we really don't know what happened between Haaland and Mamouche. Probably Haaland felt he doesn't have the momentum to play coming back from his long injury. Maybe he felt he doesn't have the momentum, and Mamouche had the momentum that maybe he gave him that opportunity to play it. But in the end, they lost the penalty, and the story that will be written about the 2025 FA Cup is that Crystal Palace took the glory, and kudos to them.
Yes, kudos to them. No one expected the Crystal Palace to come out with a victory.
They had a very great run, fantastic run.
Yes. Then quickly we'll look at the English Premiership. The spot for the Champions League is currently on. Arsenal, finally, they secured their spots over Newcastle, defeating Newcastle by a slim goal margin by 1-0. It was a hard-fought victory for then we also have Nottingham Forest, West Ham, right there in West Ham Stadium. So Nottingham Forest, they defeated West Ham by 2-1 to come back in the spot for the Champions League places. Over the weekend, the Bundesliga, for the first time, Harry Kane has finally broken the long-term course. Bayern Munich won the Bundesliga title, and Borussia Dortmund, they have qualified at the expense of Freiburg. Then we have Eintracht Frankfurt also qualifying for next season's UEFA Champions League. Then to Spain, Barcelona, they have won the Spanish League title. And we have other teams jostling for, we have other teams jostling for the Champions League spots. We have Real Madrid, they have secured their spots. We have Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid have secured their spots. We have Atletico Bilbao and Villarreal. We have 4 teams coming from the Spanish League.
Yes.
Okay. So the battle line is drawn between Villarreal and Atletico Bilbao for the final of the Champions League. Then we head on to the Italian Serie A. It's a dig done between Inter Milan and Napoli at a point. Yes, when the game was going on yesterday at the 90th minute, I felt that yes, finally Inter Milan, they have overcome. But unfortunately, they conceded a penalty. A penalty was awarded to Lazio, and Lazio, they scored the penalty, and that cancelled out the advantage because Napoli drew a game. Napoli drew 0-0 with Parma. So with that draw, if Inter Milan had won their game,
1 point ahead of,
they would have been
1 point
secured because right now the league title is no longer resting on the hands of Inter Milan. Everything now rests with Napoli. So Napoli, they are looking ahead on Saturday to probably lift up the Scudetto. So if they fail to win their game, then and Inter Milan wins their game on Saturday, Inter Milan will be the champion in Serie A. Back to Premiership, where we have a stiff battle going on. Newcastle, Chelsea,
Man City,
Arsenal, they have secured their place.
Arsenal have
They secured their spot on Saturday by a slim goal margin against Newcastle over the weekend. Then we have Newcastle, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, and Manchester City struggling for a spot in the Champions League. So what do you think? Though we had earlier predicted the teams that will qualify. So what do you think in the final league games coming up on Saturday, this Saturday? And don't forget that Chelsea,
Nottingham Forest wasn't going to make it. We said Nottingham Forest wasn't going to qualify.
Exactly.
I predicted Newcastle, Manchester City, and Aston Villa, apart from Arsenal and the champions, Liverpool. So your prediction, I think you included Chelsea in your prediction. So we have
I included Chelsea and I took out Aston Villa.
I think all of them are separated by just 2 points. You know, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Manchester City, and Nottingham Forest. They are separated by 2 points. So I don't know. I think it's going down to the wire.
They all need a win on Saturday to qualify.
All of them. They all need to win their games to be sure of qualification. Yes.
Qualification. Manchester United, while Chelsea, difficult games for them.
That will be the 25th on Sunday. That will be the end of this season's Premiership action.
Yes.
Manchester City have a game in hand. So I think they are playing against Bournemouth tomorrow.
Yes, Manchester City have a game in hand. Yes, they are playing
Bournemouth due to their FA Cup final engagements.
Yes.
For the last day, we have Nottingham Forest is hosting Chelsea, direct rival, 2 direct rivals. And we have Manchester United hosting Aston Villa. Aston Villa need the 3 points. Newcastle is hosting Everton. They need the 3 points.
Newcastle hosting Everton, and Newcastle need a win against Everton.
Newcastle needs that 3 points, and Fulham is hosting Manchester City. Same Sunday.
Yes, Sunday, yes.
So we expect end-to-end engagement over the weekend. We expect all the teams to. We expect many competitive games. You know, so many teams have a lot to play for. So we look forward to a weekend of exciting action in the English Premiership.
Yeah. So we'll be looking forward to exciting games over the weekend and hope that the teams that we have predicted will qualify for next year's UEFA Champions League. I think Aston Villa will be having a difficult game against Manchester United.
Well, Manchester United, you know, they will be coming off their Europa League final. So if they secure that victory, Manchester United have not been a force to be reckoned with in the English Premiership this season. I think they've lost 18 games so far this season. So Aston Villa should just come with their A game. And I'm sure with their A game, they are going to secure victory in that game.
You think so? I don't think, irrespective of the outcome on Wednesday, I don't think Aston Villa will be able to overcome Manchester United right there at Old Trafford.
A lot of people have gone to the Old Trafford and secured season. So beating Manchester United at home, it used to be a big deal, but not this season. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
What about the game? Nottingham Forest against Chelsea. Nottingham Forest.
Wow. That match. Chelsea, I think, is going to end in a draw, but I don't know. Nottingham Forest they've battled very hard this season. They've battled really, really hard this season.
if Nottingham Forest, if they draw that
then that
game,
means
they are
they
out.
should say bye-bye to their ambitions of making the Champions League. They need to win that game. They really need to win that game to be
Yes,
sure
they
of
need to.
qualification for
Yes,
and
they
even
need to.
Chelsea need to win that game too. So we have two teams
Chelsea
who
needs
need
to
that
win the
3 points.
game too.
Yeah.
Yes, Chelsea need to win the game. It's so good. Let's see how it goes next weekend.
In fact, they are separated by just a point. We have Newcastle, Chelsea, and Aston Villa on 66 points, while Man City and
Yes,
Nottingham are locked on 65. So, my brother, this is why the EPL is the Premier League in the whole of Europe. You know,
in the whole of Europe, stiff battle among those 5 teams trying to put in the UEFA Champions League come next season. So, dear viewers, we have come to the end of review of last weekend matches. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you and goodbye.